So Parliament from both sides of the House have filed a private members' motion asking the House to reject the $28 million loan agreement between the government and the National Investment Bank, which facilitates the purchase of vehicles for MPs. Northern MP Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa has teamed up with his counterpart from Okaigwe Central, Patrick Yabuama, in a move they believe would save the nation millions of dollars. Parliament has come under heavy criticism for approving the loan agreement, which would see the government pay for 60% of the cost incurred in acquiring the vehicles for the MPs. The individual members are then levied every month to cover the difference. Speaking in an exclusive interview with Joy News' Daniel Dati, Mr. Ablakwa stated that it will be cost-effective to purchase duty post vehicles for the MPs, which they would leave behind when exiting office.
If you look at the terms of the private members' motion that my colleague and I have filed and delivered to the Speaker today, and you are the first person to hear of this, following our submission to the Speaker this morning, we are saying that the state should withdraw. The Finance Minister should withdraw. If he fails to withdraw the term loan agreement valued at $28 million with NIB, we should reject it as members of Parliament. Let's vote. And that is why this is a bipartisan vote. Okay. And we are hoping that we can all rally our colleagues on both sides of the aisle to reject this loan facility. And then the state should make provision for MPs like it does for ministers, for judges, for all these constitutional bodies.
It's in the Ntiamabedu report. They actually envisioned this. They actually state that the need for equity among Article 71 holders is important. But in the report, which was way back in 2019, it was written that members of Parliament acknowledged that having cars procured for them as duty post vehicles would be an unnecessary burden on the state. And so it will be necessary to have this loan agreement where the MPs are deducted from source and then they pay off for the vehicles and the vehicles become their own. You were a member of Parliament at the time. What has changed? Is it because the public is at you?
Again, let me be clear that I was not consulted at any point in time. You'll notice that when you go through the over 120 pages of the report, you will not see names of those who were consulted. I mean, often they are blanket statements. We spoke to the MPs.
But you've been a member of Parliament for years.
Did you speak to all 275
You've been a member of Parliament for years. This is an arrangement that you are well aware of.
Initially, if you look at the Hansards, I have raised reservations about these matters. But this is the first time that I seem to be getting some, support across the aisle, and we are able to file a private members' motion. We're taking advantage of also the unique, nature of this Parliament, where for the first time you have a Speaker who does not belong to the President's party, is not part of the ruling party. So we are in these uncharted waters, which afford us the opportunity to take some of these views that we hold forward.
Mr. Ablakwa also said Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has until next week to present the itemized budget for the President's travels to the House or face a vote of censure.
I filed a memo to the Business Committee and served notice that if he continues with this more time in perpetuity, we will activate Article 82. You only need 97 members to initiate a vote of censure. And we have served notice that we will initiate a vote of censure. In other words, we will start removal processes.
When?
This is his last week. And I served notice last Friday after the presentation of the Business Committee. This will be his last week. Fortunately, the Speaker has given indication that he will get him to come answer this week. If he still does not come answer and he's talking about more time in perpetuity, when we know that all these matters you have paid for already, I've spoken to Acropolis Aviation. If you don't pay, they don't take off. Their jet will not leave Farnborough in the UK when you have not honored your side of the bargain, you haven't paid for the transaction. You've paid for the per diems already. You've paid for all of these, landing rights and all of that. So it's just, if you don't have time to just add up the receipts, just bring them to Parliament. I'm happy to tabulate them.